Our first guest tonight is a multi-talented performer who's worked with both of America's top Murphys, Eddie and Ryan. The latter directs him as a singing and dancing high school principal in the all-star cast of The Prom. It premieres Friday on Netflix. Please say hello to Keegan-Michael Key. Hey now, what's happening?
Hey, everybody. How are you?
How are you?
I heard all that. I'm good, Jimmy. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Where are you right now? Do you mind me asking?
I don't mind you asking at all, my friend. I am on Fire Island in New York. Fire Island, New York, yes.
I think you said
and it's very... what's that?
I thought you said you were on fire, and then you threw island in there. So,
I'm on Fire Island, right? I'm in a small family community on Fire Island.
Isn't that like a summer community, Fire Island?
It is a summer community for the most part. Lots of people come here from all over the tri-state area, but there are residents here in the wintertime. There's the island's pretty long. It's about 35 miles long, and there's probably, I don't know, 80 families on the whole island, about 200 people on the whole island,
really?
Not counting they're like workers and construction people that come and build and fix things and lock down the houses for the winter. But then they go back to Long Island, they go back to the mainland. So it's very secluded, very peaceful, very beautiful.
And you are locked in the bathroom, I see, there.
I'm locked. You can see the coping behind me into the shiplap here. Yes.
Yeah, shiplap.
It's like the toilet's right there.
You grew up in Detroit, correct?
I did. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, yes. I just said Detroit, Michigan. It's so funny. Detroit's one of those cities. You only have to say the city. I'm not from Detroit, New Mexico.
Yeah, there's no confusing it. Even Las Vegas, there's a Las Vegas, New Mexico. But
exactly,
Detroit,
right.
Well, where in Detroit, what part of Detroit are you from?
I grew up as far north in Detroit as you can possibly live. I grew up 1 block south of 8 Mile Road.
Right.
So I lived, which is good because it's the one thing everybody knows about Detroit is 8 Mile. So I lived on a little street, and everyone's like, Detroit, Woodward Avenue? No. Hamtramck? No. 8 Mile? You're Eminem!
And it was just like a normal little, like, kind of neighborhood community, right?
It really was. Like, there were times where friends from the suburbs would drop me off at home and go, this is a nice suburb. And I'm like, oh, no, you're in the city. What? It was like they were in Shangri-La. They couldn't believe it. Well, I lived in a very nice, diverse neighborhood. It was great. Because
of the movie and, 8 Mile, I don't know, it just kind of seems like it would be a tough area.
Yeah, I mean, it was semi-spicy where I lived. It was semi-spicy. I would say, you kind of had to keep your head on like half a swivel. Like you said, just over your left shoulder. I had a bunch of neighborhood kids that I lived around. We had a wonderful time. We had a field, if you can believe it, an actual empty field, like a lot at the end of our block. And I used to play baseball and football and soccer in this field. And very often when I would be in the outfield, right by the street, by the road, we actually had an audience for the game. There were prostitutes on Woodward Avenue who would watch us play baseball. And there were prostitutes that would literally say, you got it, baby. He can't hit for power. You gonna catch the ball. You just have to play in a little bit. Just move in a little bit. I don't understand. You're so rangy. You should probably be the shortstop. Evangeline, look at how athletic this child is. And I would go home and ask my mom why the ladies standing on the streets, why their pants were so short.
They're cheerleaders, honey. They're just cheerleaders. And then, did you do any professional acting in Detroit, or did that happen after you moved?
No, I did. My first job ever on screen was in Detroit. Technically, it was in Pontiac, Michigan, which some people have heard of. The car, the Pontiac.
Sure.
I was going to say, named after the town, who's named after the Indian chief. And but I was in a small little independent movie called Lunatics, and it starred Ted Raimi, who is Sam Raimi's brother. Sam Raimi, the director, is from the Metro Detroit area.
Okay.
And an actress by the name of Deborah Foreman. And I was an extra in that movie, and they had like this love scene where they were having this kind of meaningful conversation. I just I just walked right past him. I just walked right past him. And that was my screen debut in the movie Lunatics.
Were you good? Did you accomplish the task?
You would have loved my walking. My walking was so convincing. It was like, because here's what I did. I have a very special technique, Jimmy. I put one leg in front.
Oh.
And then what I would do is I put the other leg in front of that leg. And then I just kept doing that until I got through the frame.
This explains why you were good at sports. And then did you get to see them? Did you ever see the movie after it was finished?
I did. I went to a screening of the movie. And the reason I knew it was me is because I was wearing the same T-shirt at the screening that I was in the movie. I was like, that's me. You can see the gentleman in the tie-dye Jimi Hendrix T-shirt who just walked briskly and professionally in front of Debbie Foreman and Ted Raimi.
Is that really what you wore? You wore a...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just knew. I wasn't trying to steal focus. I just knew that if they said bring your own wardrobe, I was bringing a Jimi Hendrix. I loved it. I think I had on jeans, Birkenstocks, and this tie-dye Jimi Hendrix T-shirt.
Wow.
So, yeah, you couldn't miss me.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Keegan-Michael Key is with us. His new movie is called The Prom. It's premiering Friday on Netflix. We'll be right back.
If you want people to like you instead of hate you, you have to be good. A good person. You have to put other people's interests before your own.
You don't understand. I am a celebrity. It is all about me. It has been for decades. That's the point of celebrity. So I have to be reprogrammed. You know, I have to unlearn things like shoving and taking. And,
Yes.
you know. I need help with that. I need a teacher.
Oh, well, that is our teacher, Keegan-Michael Key and Meryl Street. Is it weird to see yourself in a scene with Meryl Streep?
It is still a little surreal. It really is, Jimmy. Yeah, I'm like, that's Meryl Streep. Oh, that's me. How did they? That is really good. They superimposed me into a scene with Meryl Streep, and it even looks like the lines I'm saying are corresponding with what she is.
You do some singing in this movie. Actually, you're singing in 2 Netflix movies right now.
Yes, I'm singing in Jingle Jangle and in this movie, in The Prom. And then I just finished another TV show where I'm singing. And what's interesting is this is something I've always liked doing in my life, but I didn't have any idea that it was going to come to this. But it's interesting. I have a number in each one of these projects. So it's nice. It's like I'm working my way back in. It's like not too many numbers, just one number. I just get to come in, do my one number, act the rest of the film. It's been really lovely.
I would imagine that the only thing more nerve-wracking than acting with Meryl Streep is having to sing in front of her. Yeah,
exactly. And, well, here's the thing about Meryl. Every good thing you think about Meryl Streep is true. She's just as advertised, you know?
Yeah.
So she makes you feel really comfortable, and you just kind of get lost in her because she wants. The thing is, you can see in her eyes, she wants you to do well. She wants you to do well.
Now, what about Eddie Murphy? Who was more intimidating to work opposite of?
I got to tell you, it was definitely Eddie. It was definitely Eddie. The first day on set, I was sitting in the truck, in the transpo van, and Eddie's, it was a really, thank God this happened. It was Eddie's body double. His stand-in was on the truck, and he had sunglasses on. And so I remember I got into the truck, and in my brain, I was just like, ah! Oh, no, keep it cool, keep it cool, keep it cool, keep it cool. And you're good, it's good. And it's like, what's up, man? And he was very effusive, this guy, Roger. He's like, how you doing, bro? You good? And I was like, yeah. And then when he took his sunglasses off, he realized it wasn't Eddie. So I got all the craziness out before we got to set. And then we got to set, and I'm sitting there, and I just want to geek out, Jimmy. I just want to ask him questions. And we're all sitting there, and we're waiting on a turnaround. And then Craig Robinson just goes, so what's the deal with the 40th anniversary of Saturday Night Live? What happened there? I turned around and I looked, like, what are you doing? What are you talking? And then Eddie very graciously answered all of our questions about that. And so it took me about a week before I got up the courage to maybe ask him a question about him, you know, like,
I see.
hey, you know, look, where did you grow up and all this stuff. And then he started kind of just offering stories. So it was great. It was great. It was really lovely.
You guys have actually, weirdly, you and Eddie kind of have the same story in that you started on these sketch comedy shows doing characters that are that were like unusual to see done. What's the most?
Yeah, that's true.
What's the most obscure imitation or impression that you do?
It's a toss-up.
Okay.
It's a toss-up. Okay. Between Gregory Sierra, who played Julio on Sanford and Son. Okay.
Oh, I'd love to hear that. I love Sanford.
Right, so it's always just like, hey, what are you doing, Mr. Sanford? Good to see you. Hey, Lamont and I are gonna go out tonight. It's, you know, we're gonna party down and come home and see you later. Do you want to come with us, Mr. Sanford? You better shut up and get out of here, big dummy. You know what I mean?
That's good.
You need to go, Leo. You know, it was just like, come on, Mr. Sanford, don't be like that. Why do I have a Gregory Sierra? And the other one is Kwa Chang Caine from Kung Fu, played by David
Carradine. Yeah.
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 Which is really a very simple, easy, if you just touch into your inner serenity, and then all you have to do is speak like this. But his big catchphrase was always, I mean you no harm. Every episode of Kung Fu, David Carradine is surrounded by 16 roughneck cowboys. You don't belong here. I'll say the proper term. You don't belong here, Asian American.
Yeah.
Whatever the term was. And then he always goes, I mean you no harm. And then he'd pick up a stick, and my dad and I'd be like, here we go.
It's great to see you, Keegan. Hey, thanks for being with us. Have a great holiday. The Prom premieres Friday on Netflix. Keegan-Michael Key, everybody.
Thanks, baby.
Take care. We'll be back with Isla Fisher. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and this is The Internet. I made it myself. Hit subscribe if you like it.